Hi guys, welcome to Gardening with Miss Heather. I hope you all had a great summer break. I know it was a little tough this year and a lot of you didn't get to go on vacation or leave San Diego, but I hope nonetheless that you were able to enjoy yourselves and get outside, and who knows, maybe you found a new hobby. Maybe you watched some of my videos and started gardening. I don't know. Before I get into everything, I am going to let you know a little bit about a hobby that I discovered when I was about your age. Fall is the time when everything basically gets ripe. The pumpkins get ripe. This is a hard squash. The pumpkins get ripe. The tomatoes get ripe. Here's a tomato out of my garden. The corn, you probably maybe had some corn on a barbecue this last weekend. The corn all gets ripe. This is not the kind we eat at a barbecue. This is the kind that we grind up and that we've grown at Sander-Heinz, red Indian corn. What else gets ripe? Grapes get ripe in the autumn, fall. Zucchinis. Apples, yum, love apples. So all these fruits and veggies all become ripe in fall. But something else that becomes ripe in fall that's also very important is seeds. All of these plants are growing, trying to reproduce for the next year. So part of the reason that a fruit makes a fruit is because inside there's usually a seed that's going to be able to turn into a plant the next season. If you've ever looked inside an apple, there are 10 apple seeds in every apple. If you've ever eaten a pumpkin seed, you know that it's a pumpkin seed, but maybe you open up the pumpkin and you're like, oh, those are really interesting seeds. They're kind of small and round. The same thing with the zucchini. All of these plants are making seeds for the next generation of plants. And my hobby that started when I was about your age was collecting seeds. I have always been fascinated in seeds and I love the way they look. There's so many different kinds, there's so many different shapes. And the miracle is you have them, you dry them, and you put them in soil with water the next year, and you have a whole garden. And it's just amazing. It's the miracle of life. So I just wanted to share that with you, and I wanted to let you know that a few of the seeds that we've been planting at Albert Einstein, like these corns, are exactly that. I was given a kernel of corn, a couple of them, one like this which was dark black, a white one, and one that was this color, and today they have mixed to make this variety of different corns. So basically, if you have a red corn plant, you can just take this seed, put it in the ground, and if it gets fertilized by another corn plant, it will turn into something like this. So that's one of the seeds that I've been collecting since I was your age. Another fun plant that I love to collect are milkweed seeds. And milkweed is important because it is the host plant for butterflies, for monarch butterflies. And monarch butterflies don't have a lot of habitat left. So if we are able to plant milkweed, we will have many more monarchs. So this is one of my favorite hobbies. I collect milkweed seed. Here is one kind of milkweed seed that I've been harvesting. These are the tropical ones that make really pretty orange flowers. If you see it, it's kind of blowing around like a dandelion. That's how they spread in nature. And these ones are not the best ones for San Diego because we have native milkweed, which is this plant right here. And let's see if I can show you. This is what it looks like. I'm going to just snip one so you can see. So this is a milkweed, a San Diego native milkweed. It has very thin leaves. And there's the pod. And once it gets dry, it's going to open up, and just like those ones you just saw, they're going to blow around in the air, or I'll capture them and give them to somebody like you to plant them in your garden, hopefully. So that's one kind of seed you can harvest, save, and plant. Another seed that's really fun to harvest and is super easy to find are California poppy seeds. Once the California poppy makes its flower, it makes a seed pod that looks like this. This is sort of a short one. And once it gets dry, it looks like this. And what happens, I don't know if I can make it, today's not as sunny, but if it's hot enough, it gets hot, it pops open. Let's see if I can make it pop open for you guys. So when it gets really hot, it springs open in the sun, and then inside are all of these tiny, tiny little black seeds. And those are California poppy seeds. I'll just throw them there. Maybe they'll grow next year. Anyway, so when you see California poppies growing, if you can see one or two of these pods, you can take a couple home, dry them, keep them in a little nice envelope. It's always good to have envelopes and label it with what you have, because if you don't label it the next year, you won't know exactly what it was. And there's lots of different kinds of poppies. There's orange ones, there's gold ones, there's white ones, and there's some different bright colored red ones. So you might really want to make sure you write on here what kind of a poppy seed it is and where you found it and which year, because if you start this collection, you'll find out you have several years worth of seeds growing. Another plant that we got to grow very successfully at Albert Einstein is this plant. It's called a feverfew, and it is related to chamomile. You can make a tea out of it, and thus it's called feverfew. People used to make tea out of this to keep the fever down. And once it dries, you can see what it looks like. There we are. And each one of these little heads has lots and lots of seeds. I'm going to try to took the head off. There are the seeds. And so if you're interested in growing them, you just need a couple of those seeds. You need to put them in the ground, and before you know it, you will have feverfew flowers. They are lovely, and they're really good for keeping bugs away. Sunflower seeds. Sunflowers are one of the most fun things to grow. This year I grew 6-foot tree tall sunflower trees. This is one of the tiny little buds left, and each branch made lots and lots of tiny sunflowers. So this was a special kind of sunflower. And this is a sunflower head, and inside of each head are the seeds. So I'm going to break it apart so you can see. So see how beautiful that is? It's very symmetrical. And once you open it up, you get the sunflower seeds. So let's see how many. Oh, there's 2 sunflower seeds out of that head. And the birds, the parrots, love my sunflowers, so these have been well eaten by the parrots already this year. Anyways, if you can get sunflowers to grow, save a couple heads, let them dry. And this is from a really, really big plant we had, big sunflower. And if you see, there's all those, each one of those dots is a sunflower seed. So once you have a sunflower that you like, make sure you keep a head and dry it, because you'll have sunflowers for the rest of your life. So that's the lesson for today on harvesting seeds in autumn. Thank you for gardening with Miss Heather. Bye.